What's going on, guys? And welcome back to Gooner TV. I'm joined today with Jack from Leicester Fan TV to go through a match preview. Jack, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. So obviously a poor result for your guys the other day. I don't know if you threw that game to rest your players for us, but what happened there, mate?
You know what? Yeah, I think we underestimated them, innit? Because they call the Czech Republic League the pub league, innit? Like the Scottish league. And
yeah,
I guess, resting the likes of Ricardo Castagna and Harvey Barnes wasn't Leicester's best moments. We played people like Amati and just to give them game time. And I think we really, looking at that game, we need to play our strongest team to get through. And you've got to be in it to win it in them competitions. And the strongest team possible should win you them games. And obviously we didn't do that. We made the changes. And it cost us the game. We were sloppy with the ball and wasn't good enough.
Yeah, sure. I didn't see the game, but it looked to me, from what I could see, that you were resting the game for Arsenal, which I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So we'll see. One thing I do want to ask you is, from like a supporter outside Leicester looking in, we're quite envious as Arsenal fans, actually, Leicester, I think, or a lot of us are. Like, it looks like it's a very well-run club. You've got a good manager, and you seem to recruit players really well. Is that the feeling amongst your fans, or is it a bit different?
I think like they say, Vishai had a dream to build a football team, and he's done exactly that. He had a vision where he set like a plan up for many years, and he did that, the Premier League title winning season. And, he wanted to see Leicester as a top 6 club, and he did exactly that. The dream became a reality, and ever since that point, you can't thank him enough for what he's done. And we're not big spenders. We bide our time and we find some real gems in the other divisions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of your player recruitment's been absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Tillemans was a strange one for me in terms of he went to you on loan originally, and everyone was like, "This guy's a baller," and then everyone just seemed to let him walk to Leicester. And as Arsenal fans, we're all sat there going, "Get him," you know what I mean? But the player recruitment seems to be unbelievable at the moment at Leicester.
Yeah. We brought the likes of Castagna in for Fafana, James Justin. We brought in Cengiz Under. We've not done bad with business, and obviously Youri Tillemans, like you say, we brought him in for £40 million, and we're not spending big bucks on players that we don't need. We're actually looking for the future rather than someone who's like 34, 35 just for the experience. We're actually looking for younger fighting players who actually are hungry and want to play and want to perform. And Brendan Rodgers is a manager. He likes to get the best out of his younger players, and they seem really determined. If you look at James Justin in this season, he got thrown at the deep end last season due to Ricardo's injury in March. And ever since that point, he hasn't looked back. He's got the experience now, and he looks very hungry as a player and wants to perform. And he wanted to obviously play for England this season in the Euros, and obviously it got caught short up due to injury. So it was a shame for him, really, because James Justin was a right talent this season. Watching him from a fan's point of view was phenomenal, and he's got better each game. And I don't know if you guys seen at Arsenal or any other club, but I think he's very underrated. Some of our players are very underrated. They don't get the credit they deserve, and obviously Leicester as a football club don't get the credit they deserve either. We're just like in ghost mode all season. Nobody talks about Leicester. It's all Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Tottenham. Them sorts of teams, the teams who's not really performing. And you look at it and you think, well, look where Leicester are. It's like the Man City-Liverpool game, and you get what I mean? It's difficult to look at it. They look over Leicester rather than looking straight at them, and it's just, let them get on with it and let us do what we're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, like no pressure is probably the best thing for you in that.
That's it.
Brendan Rodgers, I mean, this is a manager who was written off by a few people. I personally think he's a good manager. I felt he got unlucky at Liverpool. I felt that the players weren't just available at the right time. He ended up having a panic buy Balotelli that time, which obviously went fucking tits up. But how do Leicester fans see Brendan Rodgers? I mean, I would have him as Arsenal manager in a heartbeat.
I guess with Brendan Rodgers, they were the so-called in the pub league, innit, Celtic. And obviously they don't think Celtic could compete in the Premier League. And this season with Celtic, they don't seem to perform. And ever since Brendan Rodgers left, you can see why. And obviously with Brendan Rodgers, his time at Celtic came to an end, and he knew that. He wanted a new chapter in a breath of fresh air. And when the Leicester job come calling, I don't think he could have turned it down. And ever since he's come to the club, he's got the confidence out of the players. That he's making them believe in their own abilities and making them play great style of football. And you can't thank him enough for what he's done. Obviously, we missed out on the top four after being there for so long last season. To miss out against teams like Man United and Chelsea, to be so points ahead was heartbreaking last season. To go say, oh, we're making the Europa League rather than the Champions League. And I think this season, he's told them to dust themselves down, let's go again. And they seem more hungry and determined to get the target from last season. And Europe and Champions League is definitely what he wants. And they seem ever so vague to get there. So they seem a lot more determined and bite about Leicester this season.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? You made a good point there. I think the going back to what I was just saying about potentially resting players the other night against Slavia Prague, maybe that's why, because you kind of like really fell away like last minute in the Premier League. Maybe he's thinking, do you know what? As much as it's good to go on a good run in the Europa League, let's secure top four. And if we go out the Europa League, then so be it along the way. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that was sort of more the case?
I think with Leicester fans, it was the case of you've got to be in it to win it. We're in the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Europa League. It's a lot of games and we're getting injuries left, right and centre to our main players, but we've coped without them. And they're coming back now, the likes of Castagno, Ricardo, Soyuncu, Vardy, Maddison. You know, they've been injured this season. We've coped without them really well. And people writing us off at the start to say, oh, well, Leicester's not going to do any good, are they? Look how many injuries they've got. But we've proved people wrong, and we've done it time and time again over the years when the pundits don't really rate Leicester as a team. But now we seem to be more up there in proving people wrong and our critics. So it's good to see. It's proved so we can laugh at people and say, oh, well, we're not this little club anymore. Time to actually make our mark on this Premier League and all these competitions and maybe win a trophy this season. And I guess with the Europa League yesterday, it were going out to Prague. Let's give them credit for a start. They played well. They bided their time, and we just wasn't good enough on the night, which really they took advantage of. They scored 2 goals. And I think with Brendan Rodgers, after last night's game, it will just dust yourself down, lads. We've got Arsenal on Sunday, and let's go and beat Arsenal and focus on the Premier League and the FA Cup in hand.
Yeah, fair one, mate. Fair one. I think you made a good point there as well, mate, in terms of, I remember when Leicester won it. I mean, I think you were the most popular champions in England at the time, especially as you know, Tottenham was so close to you from our point of view. Yeah, thanks for that. We never hit the end of it if they'd have fucking won that. Jesus Christ. But yeah, just I felt like a lot of people were actually quite disrespectful to Leicester in terms of like I hear now things like, oh, that was the year we should have won it if we'd have bought a striker and stuff like that. And I think, hold on a minute, Leicester fucking won that by like about 9 points in the end, you know what I mean? Or whatever it was. And you know, that you were the best team in the country there. I mean, sometimes you don't appreciate how good a team is until you kind of look back. I mean, you had Mahrez, you had Kante, you know, I know Vardy's still there. You know, you actually had some really good players.
Yeah, I guess, you know, the season before we were at the bottom for a long time in the Great Escape season, and we just somehow in the last 8 games managed to like come together as a team, and the luck went on our side, and we got the safety, what we needed. Sunderland at the end of the season drawing 0-0, and Hull losing to Tottenham. And I guess that were a sigh of relief for us. We thought to ourselves, how the hell did we do this? And from that point, I think the players had the determination and motivation and the work ethic to go into the season after. And Kante came in. We had players like Drinkwater, Schmeichel, Danny Simpson, Wes Morgan, Robert Hoof, Christian Fuchs. And everything just clicked. Mahrez and Vardy just clicked just like that. We're like a magic show. You didn't know what we're going to get pulled out the act next. And I think Leicester were 5,000 to 1 to win the title that season. Massive odds for anybody to put a quid on that. £5,000 in your hands, a lot of money. And I guess with Leicester, everyone wrote us off. We lost to Arsenal, didn't we? 5-2 at King Power. We lost to Liverpool when Benteke scored to win it 1-0. We then went to Arsenal on Valentine's Day, 1-0 up from a penalty from Vardy, and then Danny Simpson to then get sent off. And then Theo Walcott came on and scored. And then Vacileski brought Ozil down, and Danny Welbeck somehow finished it in the 96th minute, but I don't know where all that time came from. But talking to Arsenal fans after that game, the 2-1 game, it was the case of, oh, we're going to catch you now. And I said, oh, you really? We're going to keep going. And we did. And we beat Norwich 1-0. I think we went to Man City as well and beat them 3-1. So we got some massive results that season. We were beating teams that no one expected us to. We went to the old White Hart Lane and Robert Hu scored a 50-pence header from a corner. And it was just mad that season. It was just mad as a Leicester fans, as a season ticket holder, and to watch your team win the Premier League, you're never going to forget it. And I guess, it will live long in the history of football. Yeah,
definitely. I think we were the only team who actually did a double over you that season. Yeah. Is that right? Fuck knows how. But I can only assume it's because we usually do better against teams that actually play football, But I think we're the only team who did that season. But looking ahead, mate, to the game on Sunday, midday kickoff. How do you see that one going? I mean, as an Arsenal fan, for me, it's always about what Arsenal's going to turn up. Is it going to be an Arsenal switched on Arsenal, or is it going to be, the usual defensive nightmares? You know what I mean? How do you see it going, mate?
I can see us winning the game. I think we just need to forget about yesterday's result and focus on Arsenal now and take the game to Arsenal and, think to ourselves, oh, well, we lost that game. And it'll make us stronger. Like, we've lost games this season and we've come back stronger as a football team, and we just seem to be up and down. And obviously you've seen us lose to the likes of Villa this season, Fulham. And it's just, you think to yourself, how the hell have we lost to teams like that? But everyone in this division this season seems to be beating anybody, and it's very unpredictable in the Premier League. So, yeah, I can see us winning the game. I think Vardy will be there to bite you on the arse again and get a few more goals because he loves to play against Arsenal, and Arsenal fans hate him.
Mate, he trips over one of our defenders' legs every game. I swear he does. But, yeah, mate, I mean, I can't see us winning this one. I mean, again, it always depends on what Arsenal's going to turn up. Our defence, people think it's improved. I don't think so. I mean, as a Leicester fan, from like the outside looking in, how do you see Arsenal? Are we a banter club? Are we still like a hard team to play against, you think? Or what's the opinion from Leicester fans?
Arsenal don't seem to be this big club now, what they used to be. Obviously, they're just a history club now. Arsenal are there for their taking on many games. It's just Arsenal's defence let them down. They can't defend. And, Aubameyang's not scoring every single game. You've had a really bad run this season. Obviously, Leicester came to the Emirates and beat you for the first time in, since 1970s. And it's just, madness. Crazy. That's the first time we beat you away from home. Normally, when we come to the Emirates, it's like we lead the game and somehow end up losing. So, I guess with Arsenal, I wouldn't say they're a banter club. It's just everyone can beat anybody this season. And Arsenal over the years, they're there for the taking. They're not this unstoppable force anymore, what they used to be, the Invincibles. And I guess teams have found Arsenal out and Arsenal's weaknesses, like the defensive side of it and that. But Saka this season is phenomenal. He's coming on as a player. He's been thrown in at the deep end. Arteta said, go and play ball, pretend you're playing with your mates. And he's done exactly that. And obviously, I like Saka. So, yeah, I think he's been your best player this season. He's your rising star. He's an underrated winger who no one's really looking at, and he's very up and coming, and hopefully he'll be playing for England in the future or maybe a bigger club.
Oh, hey, come on. We're still a big club. We just need to sort the defence out on our owner. But no, I totally agree with you, mate. Like, he's been absolutely outstanding. I mean, the kid's 19 years old. He's already got a couple of England caps. And to be honest, well deserved. I mean, where would we be this season without him? I mean, for a 19-year-old kid. And the thing is as well, like, for us, he's played everywhere. He's played left back, left wing, right wing, centre midfield. And he's still been brilliant wherever you put him. On the right, the left, he beats players, he scores goals, he crosses. Do you know what I mean? He's like, if he would have been a Spanish or Brazilian or French player who we'd have bought off PSG, his youth team or someone, everyone would be raving about him, right? But I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's a young English lad who's come through the youth team.
I think that's where you look at it with Harvey Barnes as well and James Justin.
Yeah.
And they're up-and-coming stars. They're very underrated. They don't get the credit they deserve on the performances. And Neither do many of the younger players at Leicester. You know, you look at Fofana, is a younger head on older shoulders. And you just think, you know, from the League One to come to the Premier League from St Etienne, you think to yourself, never heard of this bloke. And against Arsenal, it actually turned up and think to yourself, in Arsenal's backyard as well, you were throwing Lacazette here, there and everywhere.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute, who is this kid? And, you know, ever since then, he's been phenomenal. And he's only going to get better. And obviously people think he's going to be world-class in the future, one of these world stars. So, and Harvey Barnes, you know, he's took his game to a whole new level this season. He's been absolutely superb. He's learning, like, his shooting's got better and he's putting the goals away that he didn't last season. And James Justin got thrown at a deep end last season. And he's came really stronger this season, more determined, a bit more bite about him. And, you know, his injury cost him the season. And obviously he would have been going to the England in the Euros with obviously Harvey Barnes as well. But I guess with Leicester this season, it's been all about injuries.
Yeah. I think you're totally right, mate. I mean, like, Barnes and stuff, if he'd have been playing for Man United, he'd come through the youth system there, he'd have got like as much credit as Rashford's, you know, been getting and stuff, but he's going to be sort of missed out a bit. From an Arsenal's point of view, looking at your team, like I said to you earlier, like there's so many people we would take. Brendan Rodgers, I'm a big fan of your manager. I think the way he plays football, and barring like I believe an unlucky spell at Liverpool, he's done brilliantly wherever he's been. You've got so many good players that we would take. I would take your keeper, Schmeichel, Justin, Ricardo, Fofana, Soyuncu, Ndidi, Vardy, Maddison. I mean, the list is endless. And like, to be fair, they would walk into our team. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Arsenal's players? Would, you know, apart from obviously Saka, would you take any of them?
Who else would you look at, really? I don't. Aubameyang, you know, he was this world-class player from Dortmund, and I don't think he's shown it much in the Premier League. I know they're going to compare him to Vardy this game, but there's no comparison, really. You know, Vardy is clinical.
Japanese Vardy.
Absolutely clinical. Scores against anybody, you know, on the edge of defenders. You don't let him run for on goal. The pace of the bloke, and he's just scoring past him for fun. You know, he's one of the... I think he scored the most goals against the so-called top six. So It's a good stat that Smith Rowe, he's coming on as a player. You've signed Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. He's a Champions League player who, you know, is very rated in the Spanish league and around Europe as one of the best midfielders. But Ndidi, you know, he's class. Wilfred Ndidi will take the ball from you. He don't care who it is. It's like Kante. Kante, fantastic player. He sweeps up when you're least expecting it. And I think Bellerin, I don't think he's had a great season. Tierney, I think Tierney's probably been your most outstanding defender. Yeah. He works hard and he's a workhorse and he don't stop running. The pace of the bloke as well. I think Tierney's been your best defender so far this season. I don't think you can disagree with that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone's been saying he should be captain, and I think so too. What I like about Tierney is not just the fact that he gets forward and he whips in some great crosses, but like he gets it. Do you know what I mean? Like some of these players, they're like, oh, well, we kind of lost. But like you can see he's angry like if we lose. You know what I mean?
It's about leadership at Arsenal. I don't think they've got a leader in Tierney. Shouts at the team and wants them to do well, but Xhaka is a captain. No. He don't seem to be talking as much on the field. You see Arsenal, Xhaka's just moaning and whinging when they concede the goals. And you just think, hold on a minute, pick your team up and give them the confidence that they need. But Arteta, he's got a lot to learn. He's going to learn his trade in the Premier League as a manager. He's not got the experience yet, but they thought he'd be the next Guardiola. But, you know, it's a massive all in that, massive. To see what Guardiola's accomplished in his career, I don't think Arteta's going to be at that level, but I guess, you know, he's got a lot to learn and he's going to learn each season as he manages Arsenal. And your Arsenal fans just need to give him a chance and back him.
Yeah, well, the thing is though, mate, right, the way I see it is we've been on 15 years where we've been like, oh, trust the process. It's not just been like an Arteta thing. We've had 15 years of it and it's wearing a bit thin, you know what I mean? So people are like, you know, give him some time, give him 3 or 4 windows. But then it's like, well, we're 11th, and like how many seasons do you write off before you go, do you know what? He's not the next Guardiola. I mean, he's not going to get sacked in the summer, and he's going to get in that window, which means if he doesn't work out next season, we then wasted another season. Then where does it end? You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's it from me. I mean, it's not about like being impatient. We've had 15 years of it, and that's not all Arteta's fault, obviously. But the thing for me is with Arteta, he brings in a lot of players, or he plays a lot of players like Berin and Xhaka, who they divide a lot of opinion at Arsenal. I mean, personally myself, I can't stand either of them. I think they're absolutely dog shit. And it amazes me that there's Arsenal fans out there who still think Granit Xhaka is a good player because he can't do like 1 free kick a season or something. I mean, Bellerin, just the guy can't defend. But tell me what you think about the 2 players.
Bellerin's just pace. I don't think he's a defender. He's not a right back. Xhaka, he ain't no indeed. You know, Xhaka just lets his head go at times, and he does it at the wrong time. If you look at Arteta, he likes young talent. If you look at it with Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, he's getting the youngsters a chance. He gave like Reece Nelson the chance, Joe Willock, Maitland-Niles. So, it's getting the youngster a chance, and hopefully they can perform. But obviously, Willock and Maitland-Niles are out on loan at the minute, aren't they? So they're getting the games elsewhere. But Arsenal, it wears thin with their fans due to like the Arsene Wenger era. He'd run way over his time. You know, he were best mates with Kroenke, innit? And because he's best mates with Kroenke kept him on because of the money what were coming in. They were making Champions League, and Unai Emery come in, missed a good evening, and then press conferences were just hilarious. He'd say good evening, even though if it's morning time or you know what I mean. That was the only word he knew at Arsenal, and I guess Unai Emery won 3 European championships, didn't he? Sevilla and you just think to yourself, he's won it at PSG as well. The title's there, and you just think, oh, well, we've got a fantastic manager here. And it just didn't work out for him. And I don't think the fans gave Unai Emery much of a chance. And I think the players turned their back on him as well. And it didn't help. And the fan base and the players become toxic, didn't it? And they were all fighting with each other. And Xhaka said this, that, and the other. And it was just mad, like. But you brought Arteta in. He hadn't really got experience. He only had the experience as an assistant coach at Manchester City. But obviously Arsenal fans wanted Allegri in that. But I don't think Allegri wanted to come, really. But as Arsenal fans, you just got to get behind the manager. And they've wanted him out for quite a bit, haven't they, Arteta? And he just seems to be winning games. He's like Solskjaer at Man United. He's losing the games. And when you think, he's going to get the sack, he's winning the games. And then they're all back on his side again. And as soon as he loses again, it's like, we're crap, this, that, and the other. We'll get him out. We should never have got him in the first place. So I just think, I just think everyone has a different opinion, don't they, on the managers and the players at Arsenal, but not everyone's going to agree in football.
No, not at all. I think whoever came in after Wenger was going to get a tough ride, whoever it was. Unless it was someone like Guardiola, who was obviously already at Man City. But I mean, Emery, he needed to go. But at the same time, then why didn't he get the time that Arteta's been allowed to get? I mean, Arteta had loss after loss in December. And the thing for Arteta with me is he makes a lot of strange decisions. Although he's letting a lot of youth through, he's letting a lot of wrong youth through, like Eddie Nketiah. He's got like blind faith in a kid who, although he's the records England under 21 goal scorer, can't score in a brothel for Arsenal. He can't. He literally can't. I mean, he couldn't even get into Leeds team when they were in the Championship. And then you've got people like Saliba, Fofana's centre-back partner for St Etienne, can't get a game and gets loaned out. It makes no sense. And Guendouzi gets loaned out, who's got a lot of potential, but yet he will keep Xhaka and give him chance after chance. I mean, I can't work it out.
Just mad. I think Guendouzi went after the Neil Maupay incident.
He did, yeah. But that's it. He gets one chance. He made one mistake. I know his attitude's bad and stuff like that. Yeah. Or he's fucking thrown his shirt down, his cap more bad.
he don't get that, does he? Just like gets the captain's armband and given the games, and it's just mad with Arsenal. With Arsene Wenger, you know, we're going to be a massive fill in the gap of whoever we're going to take over, and we're always going to be difficult. I don't think Unai Emery had many transfer windows, did he, at Arsenal when he first came in?
No, I don't think he did. He was only here for about a year, not even a year and a half in the end, I think.
Aubameyang in, didn't he? Did he
no, Wenger brought Aubameyang in. Yeah, I mean, I don't get a lot of the stuff that he's doing. I think his build-up play is also miles too slow. It's very slow to the point where when we do get in the opposition half, they've got 10 men behind the ball, and that's why it's difficult to break it down. But yeah, moving it forward, mate. Looking forward back to the game. How do you see the game playing out? Do you think you're going to take it to us? Do you think we're going to sit deep, or are you going to do what you did to us at the Emirates? Are you just going to sit back, wait for them to come on to you, and then stick Vardy on?
In school.
When you can see that coming all game at the Emirates.
You can just see it. You can just see it being written. Arsenal were going to. With Arsenal, it was the case of they were playing always on the left-hand side. As soon as David Luiz got the ball, left-hand side, they weren't aiming for anywhere else. They're aiming down one side, and you just think, why are you trying to aim for one side as a tactic? I don't know whether that were an Arteta thing or just David Luiz in general, but Vardy came on and scored from Cengiz-Under's cross. Mustafi obviously got the blame. So
even when he's not playing, he gets the blame.
I know. I guess Arsenal fans just single out players, don't they? Single out certain players, and you just think, well, it's
been diabolical though, so I get it.
Yeah, he's not the best of defenders, is he? But I guess there's worse defenders than him. But yeah, I think we'll bide our time with Arsenal and take the chances when we get them.
Yeah. I've got a funny feeling. I'm not looking forward to it. I can only hope that Leicester have a badly off game that he did against Slavia Prague. I'm fearful, to be honest with you. I mean, for me, it always depends on whether our defence turns up or not. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. So I'm not really looking forward to it. But what do you think? What's the score predictions, mate? How do you think it's going to go?
On the last channel, I went for 2-1, so I'm going to stick with that. I think if anyone's going to score for Arsenal, it'll be Aubameyang. Vardy's going to score for Leicester, and hopefully Harvey Barnes as well, because we're with Maddison as well. So he's a key player for the way we play in attacking. So he's hard to fill in them positions. Obviously, playing Cengiz-Under there yesterday, it didn't feel right, and Cengiz-Under hasn't got what Mark Albrighton's got at Leicester, the defensive and the attacking emphasis. And I think with Under, will he be a Leicester player at the end of the season? I'm not sure, or will we look for better? So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think Sunday's game will be a very interesting game to watch, and hopefully Leicester get the 3 points to keep up with the top 4 places.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying about David Luiz and the left-hand side, I think that's more. I don't think it's an Arteta thing. I think that's more of the fact that all our good players are on the left. So Tierney, Saka. I don't know, switch Saka over to the right to let Pepe go there, because obviously Pepe's like a new signing almost when we put him on the left. I've no idea why Arteta kept putting him on the right. But we've got nothing on the right. Pepe's not right-footed and he's crap there. Bellerin's dog shit anyway. So we literally all our good players are on the left. So I think it's more the case of that, mate.
I think Pepe were a weird signing, wasn't it? 75 million pound was it you spent on him? Yeah,
72 I think it was. Yeah,
to come from the League and spend 70 odd million on a player, he ain't performing, is he? He's not getting to the standards what Arsenal want him to get. And I think with a League it's not really a competitive league, is it? It's just PSG win the league every season. So
yeah.
In that league, maybe he looked good, and Arsenal thought I'd take a chance on him, spend this money and bring him in, and he's not really lived up to the expectations of what Arsenal's wanted him to do, and he's not really lived up to the money.
Yeah, I mean, don't be wrong, I was gassed when we signed Pepe. From what I've not seen him play before we bought him, but from everything that I'd heard, he was going to be absolutely mustard and stuff, and obviously went 70 million on me, like fucking hell, this guy must be good. Hasn't worked out that way. The only defence I'd say of him is I think Arteta's style of play is miles too slow. I don't think he fits the style of play. I think he'd be better off at a team like Liverpool. But I think also the fact that he's had to be a player on the right where he's left-footed. I mean, I'm right-footed. If you told me to play on the left wing, I'd trip over my feet half the time, you know. But I think, yeah, go on. Sorry.
It's difficult to do. If you say you're left-footed and you're on the right-hand side, you're gonna have to cut back in, aren't you, like Maresca?
Yeah.
And just
that's what he did, and they just worked him out. The defenders just worked him out. He cut back in, tried to curl it in every time, and you know they worked him out within about 2 months.
If that were Messi, he'd just be doing the whole thing on his own. He'd both feet. You don't know which way he's going to cut it on.
Cool, man. Just finish off with me. What is your score prediction for the game? I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Have to be positive.
I'm gonna back my boys 2-1. I think we can go and win the game and take the game to Arsenal and carry on the top 4 places where we want to be, and hopefully Champions League become knocking on our door next season.
Yeah, cool. Tell the guys where they can see you, Jack, and yeah, go on.
So we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Leicester Fan TV. We are a fan channel who do watch-alongs for every game. We have a aftermath show or preview show on a Sunday because we play quite a lot on a Sunday now. And we do a fan zone show on Monday. So go and check our content out. You won't be disappointed. I think you'll be more entertained.
Yeah, guys, go check out Jack and Leicester Fan TV and go subscribe to their channel. Jack, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. And sorry?
Good luck after Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And I'll see you next time, mate. All right, take care.
All right, mate. Cheers.